Hello everyone, Dusty here. I'm excited to announce that KitchenTableMeta is collaborating with Popo's Kitchen, a new site specializing in Dragon Ball Super singles. They have everything from Set 1 tournament promos to Union Force and even Dash Pack promos. And if that wasn't enough, you can even trade in your old cards for credit. Do you have a playset of Sensu beans you're not using? Turn them into credit and buy that shiny Jiren. Don't forget to tell them Dusty sent you by using the code KitchenTableMeta at the checkout to save 10% on your entire order. Hello everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Kitchen Table Meta. Now this is the last video of our Set 2 Union Force spooler analysis video series. And this is actually, I'm sorry this is so late, I actually completely forgot about this card. I mean, I knew the card existed, I just forgot that it was spoiled, I didn't do a video on it. And so the card I'm talking about is the secret rare in the set, which is the Ultimate Force SSB Vegito card. And this card is really neat. But before we get into that card a little bit, I want to talk a little bit about how you get this card or what it means by a secret rare. And so secret rare is a term that I believe the first secret rares were in the Pokemon trading card game. And essentially this is a card that's normally an alternate art. So it'll be like in Pokemon it's like a gold foiled card. They look awesome. But there's usually only like one a case. Or maybe, there's maybe 3 different types of them, and there's like one of each of those 3 per, 4 boxes or 5 boxes or something, some ridiculous ratio like that. Now, in the Dragon Ball Super card game, they decided to instead make this its own card. So you can use it. It's a unique card. It's a playable card, which I think is super neat. But what I was really worried about whenever me and my buddy Chris were talking about the secret rares, we both thought it was going to be just an alternate art card, something like maybe a Sensu Bean, maybe a Majin Buu, just like a really popular card that would have an alternate art, which would, raise the value of the boxes. That's kind of the purpose of these cards, is to give you a unique card that when you pull, it makes it feel like it's worth buying boxes. I'm not just buying singles, which a lot of players do, myself included. I don't really care too much about alternate art stuff. I really just want to get all the cards. And so secret rares are a great way to do that. Now, with this card, what's really unique and what I was really afraid of was I was like, man, if they make it a playable card, it's going to be insane, right? So if you need 4 of one of these secret rares, that might be a $100 card. So it means you have to spend like $400 to get a play set. I was really, really worried about that. And then when they released the card and I saw that it was its own card, I was like, my heart dropped a little bit. I was like, here we go. But then they had this really neat keyword, which is I want to talk about really quickly. It's called Ultimate. And we'll get into it a little bit more in depth when I actually go over the card. But essentially what Ultimate says is you can only have one of this card in your deck. Which is really cool. It fixes both things. It makes the card unique, really exciting, but it also doesn't make it like a bank breaker, right? You're not going to have to go in and like, break your sister's piggy bank and take all her quarters to be able to buy, a play set of this card. You only need one, which is really cool. And from looking at some of the ratios and stuff, it looks like that you'll get one of these per case. And I believe a case is 12 boxes. And so that's actually pretty good. Now, there's been some rumors going around that you have a higher chance to get these from a special pack box. I don't know about that. Actually, I haven't opened, like 100 special pack boxes to be able to go over the ratios and see, but, it could be possible. It's really hard to tell. So just remember that right now it's 1 per case for sure. You also get 1 of each of the SPRs per case as well. So, all right, so let's dive into this card. So Ultimate Force SSB Vegito is a 10 cost, 2 blue, 40,000 attacker with tons of stuff on his card. So let's go over it. First off, he has Union Patora 5 red, which is really cool. So what Union Patora means is if you have a Goku and a Vegeta card, you can pay 5 red, combine them, and then put this card on top of it. Now this is a 10 cost card, so being able to play it for half its cost is a really big deal. Now, with the Union Patora mechanic, something to remember, especially if your name is John Tata, is that you can, the Union Patora thing happens whenever it readies the character. And so you can attack with both your Goku and your Vegeta, and then Union Patora, ready them, combine them, and then play your guy on top in active mode, and that way you can still attack with this card as well. And so it might seem like it's a net negative, like kind of like Evolving might look like, but it's actually, can be very powerful since the card comes in active. It lets you get 3 attacks off at least. With this card, it's actually 6 attacks, which is insane. So Union Patora 5 is really great. Now the downside with this Union Patora is that it does cost 5 red, which might seem extremely steep, but honestly this is tailor built for the Vegito deck. I don't think Bandai had any illusions that that would be a very popular deck, and so it's really cool it gave that deck kind of a unique finisher. Now, it is possible that you could run this in maybe a mono red deck, and just run a bunch of Vegetas and Gokus. There are red versions of both those cards, and then, run some other really powerful red cards. That's also possible, but still very unlikely that you're going to get the most bang out of your buck with this card when you run it with the Vegito decks. All right, next up is the Ultimate, which is something we talked about. It says you can only include one copy of a card with Ultimate in your deck. Now, the cool thing about this keyword is that it says you can only include one copy of a card with Ultimate in your deck. So that means if they ever bring out another card that has Ultimate, you can't run like one of each. If you're familiar with Hearthstone's legendary cards, it's similar to that. These are powerful cards. You can only run one of in your deck. But unlike Hearthstone, you can't run multiple Ultimates in your deck. You can only run one. So if they bring out next set, they bring out like an awesome Piccolo card that's an Ultimate. You can't run the Piccolo plus the Vegito. You have to choose between the one to run. Now, I love this keyword. I think it's really great, and I think it's at home here at like Secret Rare cards. And the reason why is because it makes it so you don't have to spend a bunch of money to buy a playset, which I think is super cool. Next up is it has triple attack and triple strike. So that means you can attack 3 times with this card. Each attack is for 40,000 in triple strike. This is an insane game ender, and actually, the first time we've seen triple attack as well. So that's really neat. So this is extremely, extremely powerful card. So going into the card and where I think it'll see most of its play, like I said a little bit earlier, is I think this is again at home in the Vegito decks. Now, something to remember about this card is it is very susceptible to essentially any kind of removal. It has no way to protect itself. It's also going to be ran in the Vegito decks, which means Vegito has no way to protect it, does have Cold Bloodlust or anything like this. So you have to be really careful when you play this card. Actually, I've seen my teammate at the case tournament, Chris, actually finally got to play this card out, and he tapped out for it. In his mind, there was no way he was going to lose. And honestly, when I looked over and saw his board state, I was like, yeah, that's a no-brainer play. And then his opponent played the green counter card that lets you kill something. And so he used that, killed Vegito, and then he was tapped out for the next turn and actually lost. And so you have to be very careful with this card. There's a lot of cards that hurt this card. Mafubo is a good example. Also, Pilaf, the little 1-cost guy, he can really put a lot of hurt on this card. Again, the green cost combo card we talked about, Crusher Ball, Cold Bloodlust, it does have a lot of counters. That doesn't mean it's a bad card. In fact, I think it's actually a very fantastic card. It just means that it does have the ability to be played around. It's not OP. I've seen a lot of people talk about this card possibly being pay to win. Like, if you have the money to buy this card, then you just automatically win. That's not the case. Again, there's just so many combos or counters to this card that it's really going to stop it from being a super powerful, must-have, pay to win card. So without all that being said, guys, I'm going to give this card 2 stars. I think it's a fantastic card. I love the secret rare uniqueness of this card. I love the ultimate keyword. I think this is a fantastic finisher for Vegito. I think it maybe could be seen in mono red, but you're probably being a little ambitious if you try that. And again, just think it's a fantastic card and a great way to do the secret rares. Alright guys, so that's it for my Set 2 Union Force analysis. I hope you guys really enjoyed this series. I know it's been a lot of videos, a lot of work, and I really hope you guys like it. This is something that I'll be doing for anything that's released. The next one will probably be the Draft Pack series, and then after that will be Set 3. Again, I just love doing this analysis video and let you guys know what I think. There's a chance that I'll probably go through and reevaluate all the cards now that I've had a chance to play test with some of them and just put their rankings up on the website. I haven't decided on that yet. I'm kind of want to see what you guys think. Actually, I feel like I've got most of the ratings pretty close. There's a couple cards that I feel like I got terribly wrong, which I did a video on yesterday on my Top 5 Tuesday. I think there's some more that I probably over-evaluated as well that I kind of want to fix. But I think all in all, I'm pretty happy with the series. I hope you guys are too. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, well, thank you so much for stopping by. Don't forget that today at 10 o'clock Eastern Time, we'll be doing the Supercast. I'll have Jordan Markle on the cast. We're going to talk about tons of stuff with the new rules release. We're going to be talking about the case tournament we played in. We're going to talk about our favorite decks in Set 2. And we also had a viewer request to talk about Indestructible, which I know Jordan is very passionate about. So it should be an amazing show. Again, guys, stop by at 10 o'clock. Talk to us. Give us your suggestions. Give us your comments. We love talking to you guys. Anyway, guys, stop rambling. Love you guys. Thank you again for all the support. We're almost 800 subscribers, which is insane. Thank you guys so much for all the love, all the support. You guys rock, and I'll see you next time.